Hey guys, it's Shreyas Sada,
And Josh Bishop.
and welcome back to a long awaited episode of 2B Crew. God knows I was looking forward to this. As you guys know, I was in Bristol, Connecticut, interning at ESPN. Incredible opportunity, had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it was cut short with everything going on with Corona right now. I was really excited. I was going to meet my main man, Stephen A. Smith, up in New York. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I did meet some really cool guys and people I've looked up to, and me and Josh have looked up to, like Woj and Nagandi and Jackie Mack, and they were really nice, really fun to talk to. Don't know what the career holds, but I'm happy to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Shreyas. You said you never mentioned that you almost met Stephen A.
Oh, yeah. No, it was supposed to happen in my last week, actually. You know, I was supposed to work First Take as like a researcher, and unfortunately it was cut short, you know, because of Corona. Screw you, Corona. But, like, you know, he's the only guy that I've, you know, looked up to besides Woj. He was like that guy, you know.
He's the guy.
The guy. He's the face of ESPN besides SVP, I guess.
Yeah. It didn't update you guys, I guess. So Shreyas is back. He's been at ESPN. I can't say I was at ESPN. I've had a very relaxed semester. Birds in our lives, horticulture. What else we got? Sport event management, entomology. You know, we learned a lot. I learned a lot about bugs, but it hasn't been that hard. But we are glad to be back. And it's a trying time, you know, to come in and
It's a crazy
all this
time,
going
man.
on.
I'm going insane. I don't know about you, but the only thing I've been doing, you know, consistently is working out, eating junk food in my house, so negating everything I've been working out for, and then playing COD here and there. But like, I don't know what to do, man. Like I you know, at this point where like I'm just like excited to produce content. You know, we're thinking maybe we'll go remote with this. Who knows? But it's a scary time. You know, my dad's sending out those mass group texts, and my dad's never been a fearmonger. I'll tell you that much. So if he thinks it's a big deal, I gotta take it seriously too. It's usually the other way around. My mom's the one freaking out. My dad's the one that kind of has a little more level-headed stuff. So to hear him kind of freak out about that tells you how big of a deal everything is. I mean, we got multi-billion-dollar industries on hold because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
it's really difficult. You said you were playing COD and working out. I'm kind of embarrassed to say what I've been doing.
Your haircut, it seems like.
Okay, I've not been getting my hair cut, you know, because quarantine, but
It's okay. I mean, my beard's looking pretty rough too, so I get it.
you know what I've been doing? This is funny. I think people will enjoy this. When I was like 10, I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah?
And I have a friend named Josh. He's also named Josh.
Of course.
Who has been really trying to get me to play with my old cards, and I did. I pulled them out and sorted them and played Yu-Gi-Oh with my friend. And they have a game on like the Apple Store called Duel Links.
Yeah.
I've been leveling up like crazy in that.
I mean,
you know?
honestly, you're keeping busy, man. I'm probably gonna, you know, put out some content, you know, draft wise, trying to put up, do drafting prospect stuff for the NBA. Did that a couple years ago. Really like that. Kind of keeps me busy, and it's something I can do to kind of keep myself from going insane. It's crazy to think about that. It all started with Rudy Gobert testing positive, and then immediately the NBA suspended the league. I didn't know what was going to go on next, and I was supposed to work the last game of the NBA season technically, or suspended game, the Zion game, and I was in the control room as a researcher, like assistant or whatever, and we were like getting ready to go, and 5 minutes to go, they're like, the game's off, we're not doing it, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is one of those things, one of those moments where you remember where you are when it starts, and I was at the epicenter of all. You know, I was supposed to work the last Zion game, and I was really excited about it, to be honest with you, because who doesn't like watching Zion? And, you know, unfortunately, you know, it kind of catapulted, because the next day I found out, you know, my boss called me, and he was like, hey, like, you know, we're going to have to cut the internship short, and I was supposed to go into work an hour later, so I was like, oh, God. So I ended up just going up to Philly a couple days later. I spent the weekend at a friend's place. We went out and about a little bit, you know, washing my hands everywhere like crazy, because you just know how much is going on. And he was telling me, like, it's a ghost town. You know, it was pretty busy because it's a big city, but he was like, this is nothing. He's like, we went to this market, and he was like, it's about 20% full. Usually you can't even move. And I was looking around, empty chairs everywhere, and it was crazy. So then Monday I made the long drive back to Georgia, 13 hours. I've never driven longer than 3 hours. I joked about it with Josh and these guys. Jordan had the flu game. LeBron had game 6. That was my bridge to that.
I know he called me, and I could tell that when I answered the phone, he was just like, "Oh, thank God, he could fill up like an hour or two."
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Like the first 6 hours were okay. The last 5 hours were killing me. I had to get an energy drink. I'm not one of those coffee drinkers, and I don't drink a lot of energy drinks, so it kind of kept me going. And when I finally got home, I was like, "Holy crap!" Like I don't know what to do. It felt nice, relaxed. It was good to see my parents. I missed them all, and I was looking forward to coming back to a fun-filled senior year month left, really, right? Graduation coming around the corner and trying to put some podcasts out. Unfortunately, with everything going on, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I know that a lot's been going on, but I've tried not to think about, not having graduation, stuff like that, because there's a lot, people with a lot worse problems, people dying, people's grandparents, passing away and stuff like that. So, yeah, well, I wasn't even talking about mine. I was just talking about it in general. But, I mean, even with that, it's just, we could have it so much worse, so I've tried to kind of avoid the negative thoughts. But
yeah,
we're glad to have you back, and we're glad that we at least get to do this.
No, 100%, man. I think it's going to be interesting, and we might be going remote after this one, and that's okay, because my parents are freaking out, and everyone else's parents are freaking out too, and it might be the best thing to do. And God knows I've used a lot of hand sanitizer. We wiped down the desk. We've been trying to be vigilant. This is probably the only time I've been out of the house in the last week or so, besides going to the local elementary school track to run a mile and a half. And God knows I hated running, and I made fun of all those cross-country kids, so that tells you how bad things have gotten.
Yeah, I've been
the fact that we're running,
running and walking on an incline, to burn
Oh,
out.
that's good, man. I've been working out a little bit. Like the worst part is though, when you're home, you can't really keep track of what you're eating food wise, because my mom makes good Indian food and all this other food, and it's great, right? But I don't know what the hell that calorie count is, or I just guesstimate and put it in the MyFitnessPal and stuff like that. Because when I was up in Bristol, the only thing my routine would be, I worked nights a lot of times. My routine would be I'd wake up around 12, because I worked sometimes from 2:30, 3:30, or 4:30 up till 1 or 2 a.m. And the only thing I do before that is just basically just work out. And it's just it's crazy because now I have back to a regular sleeping schedule. It took me a while to get back to the normal sleeping grind, because I still can't go to sleep before 2 now, just because I'm so used to it. And it's easy to put on weight when you're not doing anything at your freaking house. So I have to keep myself busy. I've been trying to work out as much as possible. Got my dad to get some higher weight classes, because summer bod time is always in session. And I'm always going to be trying to work wearing those jerseys everywhere we go. What other reason to work out is there to wear basketball jerseys?
Well, I just like to, feel healthy, feel good when you go play and stuff like that. Man. But it's progress so sad because a lot of my cardio was playing pickup basketball at Ramsey, and it's that's just not going on anymore. But you know what? We could cry about it all day, but the good news is that we're leading into a new season of 2View Crew. We got a new producer with Quentin who's pushing us to produce more content. Yeah. So we're going to try to get stuff out every week, twice a week, if we can, at least once. And then, we have Sopan Deb on this episode with the New York Times. He's a culture writer now.
Yeah, he does basketball also. He's a really cool guy. I've known him for a little bit. He's been a friend and mentor in the very, very confusing sports media industry. And, me and Josh were talking about it before this. We're about to enter the job market at the worst possible time. Yeah. And where there's no sports, I'm a little terrified.
They need drivers at AutoZone.
Hey, maybe I'll join you. You never know.
You might be working at AutoZone, but shout out AutoZone in Woodstock. Give me a job then. Yeah, sponsor us. Sponsor us. Basketball fans need car parts. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're right, 100%.
But and then next episode we have Mike Babcock, NBA agent.
Former NBA agent. He does a lot of draft stuff. He has his own website called Babcock Hoops. I'm excited for that because we'll get to talk about all the behind the scenes stuff that none of us know what the hell is going on. Yeah. And it's funny because even when I was sitting down with Woj was getting texts left and right, and he had to call somebody because he's MKG's getting bought out, and then he tweeted that 3 hours later, and that blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, I got some insider information. And one of my friends was like, where can I bet on this?
Where is MKG
now? Where is MKG?
Michael Kilchrist for the
unaffiliated. I have no idea. I thought he was supposed to go to a playoff team, but I think he wanted the Bucks. Maybe
I heard Bucks.
I think the Bucks were the likely. The Bucks get everybody. Come on, man.
Everyone wants to play with Giannis, man.
Yeah, I mean, look at how good they are, and they're underappreciated. And I think if the season gets canceled, we're gonna be looking back at a what if for that Bucks, because
yeah.
that could be the difference in free agency, whether he comes back or not.
And the last guest I think we have on the calendar is Kelsey Russo. Thank you, Quentin. She's the athletic beat writer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, so that's going to be some great.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm really excited for it. Actually, we've been talking about it, and it'd be cool to have like a issue like where a lot of people have been asking us like, what are you doing with the lull in the NBA season? And we were thinking, why not talk about the teams that are not going to play the playoffs? And obviously the Cavaliers, God bless them, are way out of playoff contention.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it'd be really cool to see like what they can do better. It seems like Colin Sexton, mind you, only 6 games, it was averaging 30 points per game in that February month. So it could be something to look into. He was looking like he was turning the corner, and I'm excited to have her on.
Me too, and to learn about what's the guy's name? Who was the coach at Michigan? Who's their head coach's name?
Larry Nance.
No, their head coach.
Oh, head coach. Who was the head coach? Jawan Howard, right?
I'm talking. That's the coach at Michigan now. I'm talking the guy who was at Michigan.
Oh, John Beilein.
There you go.
Slugs to thugs, baby. Slugs to thugs. If you guys don't know about that reference, so basically it came out that he called the players of the Cleveland Cavaliers thugs. And to recant on the statement, he said, I didn't mean thugs, I meant slugs. So it's been kind of an inside joke in every NBA fan circle. They're a bunch of thugs. No, I meant, my bad, slugs. Man got exonerated. I feel bad for him because he just it seemed like everything that came out, he was treating them like a bunch of college kids, and that just doesn't work.
Well, I think they thought that the team was young, and they kind of thought that it. I think it goes.
I think it goes like the veterans never respected him. Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, all these guys, and it seems like I was not a fan of the way Kevin Love handled himself until recently. God bless him. He just donated a bunch of money to coronavirus cure and stuff like that, and helping out people with that, which is awesome. But I think it just starts from veteran leadership up. And, it goes down to everybody else. So if the vets don't respect you, Colin Sexton's not going to respect you, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe they should have traded these guys a long time ago, but,
Well, we don't want to give away too much.
100%.
We're excited to get going this new season of content, and we hope you all enjoy. So without further ado, we'll get into our talk with Sopan. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.